Hey everybody, welcome back to Planet Coaster. In this project I'll be working on a wooden hybrid coaster with a Thai theme, and as you might be able to tell, there is already a temple with a small garden around it as a kind of prototype to what the rest of the theme is going to look like. But I actually didn't build this thing myself. This thing was actually built by Rudi Rennkamel. Rudi, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. And what about you?
I'm awesome, thank you. So you've built this Thai, temple station, right? What was your inspiration for this thing?
Well, obviously, I've been to Thailand just 2 weeks before I started building it. And as I told you a few times, since maybe, I was really inspired by the landscape temple stuff and all the stuff in Thailand. And I was really my fingers were burning when we were in that airplane back to Germany. My girlfriend was really annoyed of me, but I couldn't wait to start off building something Thai-inspired. And I came along with this temple kind of stuff. And really at the beginning it wasn't planned as a station, but I figured it could be a great station to have with really into this kind of temple, which is really inspired by Thai temples. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. We actually didn't have much of a coalition here, but we always kind of thought about doing a collaboration ever since we met a super long time ago. We go way back even to Gamescom in 2016, and I remember the first time I ever found out about you was very shortly after the first alpha release of Planet Coaster, when you made that amazing Space Mountain. And ever since that I've just known you and I've wanted to make some videos with you, so it's pretty cool that we're finally together and making this project, even if it is kind of loose, because basically we don't really have much of a script that we're going with here, rather than just, all that we're doing is pretty much, hey, I'll build this thing, and yeah, sure, you go ahead, and we just kind of roll with everything pretty much so far.
That's our story, right? Because the guys from Frontier put us into this situation on the Gamescom, and ever since that, then we should have gone really this loose collaboration stuff, because it really worked good at Gamescom, I think. When we both made this Main Streetish thing, kind of, which we planned 1 hour before my stream was on. I'm really happy also to be in this collab now with you, and same goes for me. I really joined Planet Coaster when I first saw your Main Street episode, and it really gave me the final inspiration to go on with the Space Mountain, which I had already started. A lot of things were already done, and I was just lacking a few ideas how to get some different angles in because, as many of your viewers may not be knowing, but back then in these days we didn't have this 3D grid to turn pieces around in every direction. We had to get along with some workarounds, and that was really great inspiration back then, and so great to be working with you, because we, as you said, we always try to find a thing where we can work together. We had this really short thing with the Star Wars Destroyer. No, it was the Death Star one. But always because we've had our own projects and stuff like this.
Yeah, exactly. And the Star Wars was kind of, I don't know, I'm still super happy about it. It's one of the best videos, or at least performance-wise, we have so far, but it didn't really feel like as much as a collab as we were hoping for, because it was also just kind of that random thing where you passed me the Star Destroyer, the Death Star. Okay, I just made a lot of people mad, I think. Okay, but
I just passed you also the Star Destroyer.
Yeah, exactly, and everything from sci-fi ever. But oh my, that was terrible. Wow. For the record, I haven't actually seen Star Wars. Don't tell anybody about this. But it wasn't actually as much as a collab, since we didn't really plan for anything. You just kind of gave me the park file, and I just YOLO'd and built random stuff, and that was pretty much how I did everything. But hopefully this series, even if it's just kind of laid back and doing random Thai stuff, should hopefully be a series in which we actually work toward a goal on a pretty linear and hopefully episodic basis. At least that's what we're going for.
I mean, at least we now have, at the end of this video, a track layout, which we can just build around, right? So
Yeah.
there is kind of a target for now, and it's an amazing layout, as we already talked about before recording this episode. It's really, you went crazy with the layout, and which is a good thing, because it really fits into the whole style of, which I've got used to in Thailand. Also in the northern part of Thailand, which is glorious. Guys, really, if you do have the chance to go to Thailand ever, like, really make sure that you go also in the northern part, because many people, I already talked to a lot of people in Germany, and they always just go to the southern region, to like all the islands and so. But really, guys, go to the north part, because it's really much more about nature and tradition and stuff. And you should check that out. Yeah.
Oh, you mean like a lot more mountains and like jungle and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's, in general, it's like really what you would expect from a Southeast Asian area, like really about this. Yeah, the architecture goes along with the nature and the landscape. They really build their temples so that it works together with the nature, and it really feels like you are in an Asian kind of region. But for the southern part, I figured it was like the tourism really, made its appearance there, so that the whole landscape really is nearly European in terms of what has been built there. Of course, there are a few temples, but they are just covered by so many hotels and stuff. And so the northern part is really the more traditional one.
Oh yeah, I totally get what you mean. Like there are so many places where like tourism takes over and it just gets this more international vibe, and it just isn't as local anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah, I suppose we're kind of going for a northern kind of thing. We were talking about this earlier. I don't suppose we even have to keep this up as if it was a natural kind of conversation anyway. We talked about way too many things already when we weren't recording. But yeah, we kind of talked about this because basically you passed me the park file with just the station as you saw at the beginning of the episode, and like even halfway through it right now there are already like tons of mountains and the layouts going everywhere. Basically, I just figured I would build an enormous RMC hybrid alongside this cliffside, which is completely based off like Google images of Thailand landscapes. But apparently it's surprisingly like realistic for Thailand, or so I've heard from you. So that's I'm actually really happy with that.
Some photos on your phone, which I have maybe sent you. But anyway, like, yeah, that's exactly. I just heard, I just watched the series with Corrales and Lady, the latest episode, and I heard you talk about like that you've been jealous in class or in course when I sent you over those pictures, and I figured you really did a great job to come along with like the area, which really is like this in Thailand. I can tell.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Different foliage stuff, but that's because we don't have so much jungle trees in the game. But yeah, that's basically brilliant, because that was so impressive to be there and have just this like really flat landscape, and then you come just like 10 or 20 kilometers and boom, they're like mountains and cliffs and jungle, and it's like, wow, where did they come from? That's amazing.
See, now you're making me feel like I did when I got those texts the first time around. Like, you sent me those texts of like you being in Thailand and like the most amazing buildings and the best food ever, and it was like different times for me. It would be like in the morning for me, and I'd be in a lecture hall and I would like look outside, it's raining, it's the worst thing ever. But we've been working toward this thing for quite a while actually. I just remembered, since you being in Thailand and sending those texts is a crazy amount of time ago.
Yeah, like, great. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about that, but I think we talked about this way before, and then I told you that I will be going to Thailand. And I think we somehow had it in mind for like this really long period of time. Yeah, it's crazy. So
wow,
now we are in 2017, and there we are. So hopefully, I mean, I really do like this kind of laid back and really chilled kind of commentary stuff, and just work together with you guys, because I think it's a glorious thing that the community in Planet Coaster works so great together. And also I really appreciate your collaboration with Lady and Corrales, because it's so much fun also to listen to it. I mean, like, really, the last time, I have to admit, I haven't watched the video. I've just listened to the clip while playing Planet Coaster on my own, and Yeah, it's just fun.
I
And
I have
that's
to
what
admit to that as well, honestly. Like that's actually what I do for a lot of Planet Coaster related kind of stuff. Like I'll listen to it in the background, maybe look every now and then. But I'm pretty sure, like even right now, there are plenty of people who are listening to this as if it were a podcast, a podcast, as if it were a podcast, you know. And it's well, maybe they're looking at the video right now, like, what is he calling me out for this? It's totally fine. But
yeah.
it's funny because so many people do that nowadays, and it's kind of what it feels like as well. I don't know, for me it's a little bit different, since I usually do like to talk about the coasters as well, and I haven't done that yet. I feel like something's missing in this video. Is it okay if I take a small pause and get my coaster nerd rant for a little bit?
Of course it is.
Okay, awesome. So, okay.
I'm
glad
you asked.
Yes, I need to get this off my chest. Like I am burning to get this out. So basically what I'm going for here, for the people who aren't as well into roller coasters, is for an RMC hybrid coaster, which doesn't have the right trains on it, but it's just, you know, whatever. Looks good enough. I'm going for an RMC hybrid coaster, and the reason why I did this in the first place is because this was actually in the station as you gave it to me, Rudi, and I was too damn lazy to actually put a different kind of coaster in the station, so I figured, okay, I suppose I'll just build an RMC hybrid. That works. It's like I've built a lot of hybrids recently, I just realized. A lot of hybrids and woodies. But that's basically what it is, and it is a lot of fun because it's a large coaster for one. It's a good looking one with like the wooden structures and stuff like that. I think it works quite well, the like rocky cliff faces that we've got going on. And it's one with like crazy weird large elements like large 0G roll and curves that bank outward and double dips and all kinds of trick tracks kind of things. I'm not going to go too much into terminology because this coaster company also comes up with the weirdest names for their elements. But basically I got up to almost, well actually little over 50 meters I believe, and pretty much wanted to finish up all of my friction and speed until we're back in the station. So it's like a super long but just completely wild ride. And I don't know, as for the scenery, how much we're really gonna do. Like I'm dressing up the rocky cliff face, which I'm working on in this episode. It's not gonna be completely finished, but I'm working on it right now with a lot of foliage and just general texturing to create those like vertical cliff faces that you see in Thailand quite a lot, where it kind of breaks up the flat plains with these rocks and jungle biomes. And the flatland which we have around the station, I think that's something that Rudi might talk about a little bit more, because you've got like some weird ass like garden plans for it, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was like, I have to tell it just like a side note, because there was one day where it has been so damn hot in Thailand, and then we just asked our guide from our hotel what we could do on such a day, because we were too lazy to drive 2 hours with the bus. Even when it's so hot, it's not that cool. And then he told us, yeah, just go to this Floral park. It's really great, and it's not too hot over there. And I actually don't know what this guy had against us, but it was like the hottest place I've ever been to.
Right. Do you have any temperatures? Like, do you remember anything?
Yeah, it was like close to 42 degrees.
Oh wow.
And it normally in the northern part in this time of the year, it's not that hot actually, and we were a little bit surprised. But fortunately, you could just got some like these little golf cars, you know, which you can drive over the golf course with. They had them at this park, and then you can just drive through it. And this park was like really a beautiful looking floral park, which had been created for the Royal Flower exhibition in,
Oh wow.
I don't know, 2008 or so. And they kept it alive, and it's so great to see like all these different exotic flowers. And they also had some reptile houses over there, and some like really beautiful temples with a lot of gold stuff on it, and it was really broad and wide and like really flat, to be honest, but some little hills just to shape the landscape a little bit. That's it. But it was really beautiful to walk through, and yeah, like we spent the whole day there, and The only problem was that nearly every shop has had closed because it was not like the high season, and that meant you had to go really a lot of kilometers until the next beverage shop. And that was, when it's so hot, not the best thing. But anyway, it's great. And so this is also something I was looking into for this park or for this coaster around here, because I really think this floral gardening stuff could fit really nice to the layout and also to this flat area we have around the temple.
Oh yeah, that sounds actually really good. Like, I didn't really have any plans for this. I just randomly built the coaster with the cliff faces, hoping that you wouldn't mind too much, but that actually sounds like an actual decent thing. So I hope I didn't give you anything too bad to work with, and it should be manageable. But
obviously it's always cool to just get some small challenges,
Oh yeah, that is true. Actually, that reminds me of something that I heard today about Naughty Dog, the developer, right?
Yeah, I know.
Like their philosophy apparently is to like start doing things which they're not supposed to do at all, like get themselves into a corner where they do everything wrong and then try to solve everything, and then you like automatically get the most creative things. So like when they were tasked to make like a Crash PlayStation game, they would do the things that the PlayStation was not built to do whatsoever, and that would kind of force them to figure out the most creative ways out of those limitations. And I think that's actually a great philosophy, and definitely works with Planet Coaster as well. Sometimes when you're stuck, I think the best thing you can do, perhaps, is to do like something completely crazy, like ridiculous. Build a coaster where you wasn't thinking to build it anyway, or build something way too large and just try to like figure out how you can manage like the abomination that you've just built, and maybe something really cool comes out of it. The first time I tried to make these rock cliff faces, it was also kind of on a whim. I just figured might as well try it. I hope Rudi is not going to get too mad at me. But in the end, these might actually work out really well and be like the thing that makes this project stand out. So I actually thought that was kind of interesting. Huh.
Yeah, it really I feel actually the same, because the first time I really had this problem was like before I did the Star Destroyer. It was really like I built the Space Mountain, and then I did, I think, I'm not sure about it, but Times Square and the Big Ben stuff and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And I really was like a little bit tired of these like building coaster inside, and that's it. So, and then I was like trying to start over with something else. And to be honest, I just didn't want to build a Star Destroyer. I just wanted to build a wall, a sci-fi wall with the pieces we had back then. And I figured, okay, that might be a good idea to make like a huge hall, which you can build something into, like an indoor theme park. And then I figured afterwards, well, this looks really like the shape of a Star Destroyer, maybe. And I just went on and built the Star Destroyer, which I have to admit is really the only reason why I think we can do this collaboration, because this put me onto the radar of Frontier and brought me to Gamescom. I'm pretty sure about this.
Oh, wow.
And this was like the reason. And yeah. I mean, I put them into problems because of copyright stuff and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
For me, it was kind of a great experience, because I had no idea that they watched any video of me, and then but anyway, the point I was making, like, it's really a good idea to go completely crazy, and then you have to just manage the problems which will occur within doing something so big, and that's what making you creative, I think.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like how the big legendary hero once said, Bob Ross, there's no such thing as accidents or mistakes. There's just happy little accidents. Or was that how he said it? Or was it Happy Little Mistakes? Okay, I'm gonna make more people mad right now. I haven't watched him in too long. It's been so long since the Twitch marathon. Did you ever watch Bob Ross?
Yeah, of course I did. The problem is I'm so bad at remembering quotes. I always do quote wrong. That's like, people always know me before.
Yeah, same.
Already know me for quoting wrong. So it's like a running gag. So I stopped quoting at all.
Yeah, I think it's Happy Little Accidents. Anyway, it's like whenever you brush a stroke and it's in completely the wrong direction or the area, and he's like, whatever, I'm just gonna build a tree right there and cover it up. It just works better in the end. I don't know. I just love that about him.
Yeah, it's great. So like, I mean, it's always funny to see how creativity works, because there are like a million ways to get into it, and that's because, well, that's maybe the reason why I think Planet Coaster and in general sandbox games are so great, because I mean there's no limit, you know. Even after like 8 years or 9 years of Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, you do just see things which you might have thought wouldn't be possible.
Oh yeah, people are making things in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 right now, which is like still better than things that are being made in Planet Coaster, which is crazy. This is no way like a diss to Planet Coaster. It's just kind of imagine what's gonna be built in Planet Coaster in like 5 years to come. The things that are being made right now are probably nothing compared to what you'll see being made in Planet Coaster in 5 years. That's kind of an interesting thought as well. It's crazy how much even these games grow because of the creativity of players.
Yeah, it's so great. Do you ever heard of Rust, the game Rust?
Uh-huh.
It's like this survival game, and it's also a great story to tell, because they really had to change the whole setup. They changed from their, as they said themselves, crappy programmed game towards a game programmed on Unity 5. And the only reason for doing it was that the players got too creative in the way how they built their bases and stuff like this, and how they used the environment. And so this completely pushed the game into another direction. And so they had no other possibility than to change the whole game. And
oh wow.
Unfortunately, they lost a little bit of track because of so many problems turning into Unity 5. But they're on a good way, I think. Now the game is gathering a lot of speed again, as far as the sheer number of players, for example, at Steam tells. But I'm a little bit out of this. I played it for a while, but this is also a great story, because like the players changed the game how it is today.
Honestly, that's as a kind of final note, because the video is already gonna end in a little bit. Like, that's something that happens at Planet Coaster as well, because I've been told multiple times, and I think last time John Laws said me this, that the game has actually changed because of the most prominent players. Like, they've put different items into the game because of the things that people were building in Planet Coaster, which is an interesting thought. Like, if certain YouTube videos or series didn't actually exist back when Alpha came out, the game would have been a completely different game, which is crazy to think about as well. But I think we're also running out of time, sadly. I was planning to make this a 5-minute introduction with the both of us and then finish the rest of the video myself talking about the roller coaster.
I'm sorry.
I'll be damned. Oh, it's completely fine. I guess that just wasn't supposed to happen here. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Be sure to check out Rudi's channel, where he's gonna post the next video and work on some awesome scenery. And we'll just be sending this series back and forth and working on this stuff each time. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys later.